Most people would agree that reading is fundamental to functioning in today's world. However, how to teach reading is a hotly debated issue. The science of reading refers to a vast body of scientific research about reading and issues related to reading and writing. Over the last 5 decades and through thousands of studies, researchers have concluded how we can most effectively teach reading and writing. One well-known and important framework aligned with the science of reading is called the simple view of reading. This formula was presented by Philip B. Goff and William E. Tumner in 1986. 1896, too far. It states that word recognition and language comprehension are essential for reading comprehension. Reading comprehension cannot occur unless both word recognition and language comprehension are strong. Therefore, an effective reading program must address both word recognition and language comprehension. So let's take a look at an example. Here we have an example sentence. The big dog barked at the little cat. When you read the underlined word, whether you read it automatically or decoded it, you demonstrated word recognition. Your understanding of the word dog reflects your language comprehension. If you were unable to either read or understand the underlined word, you wouldn't be able to comprehend the sentence. This is why building skills in both areas is vital to reading comprehension. We will use this selection from The Tale of Peter Rabbit to help us illustrate the other areas of word recognition and language comprehension. So let's take a look at this short selection from this story. Once upon a time, there were 4 little rabbits, and their names were Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and Peter. They lived with their mother in a sandbank underneath the root of a very big fir tree. Now, my dears, said old Mrs. Rabbit one morning, you may go into the fields or down the lane, but don't go into Mr. McGregor's garden. Your father had an accident there. He was put in a pie by Mrs. McGregor. Keep that story in mind as we discuss the parts of word recognition and language comprehension. So there are 3 parts to word recognition. The first is phonological awareness. This is the ability to recognize and manipulate the sound structure of language. For example, this includes the ability to identify words that rhyme, the number of words in a sentence, and alliteration. The second is decoding, which means you are able to associate letters with sounds. For example, when you look at the word rabbit, you may see the letter R and know it makes the sound R. The A makes the sound A, and B makes the sound B, and so on. After you identify each letter and its corresponding sound, you then blend the sounds together to decode the word. And the final part of word recognition is sight recognition. This is the ability to automatically read a word without sounding it out. When you look at the word rabbit, you automatically read the word rabbit. As readers improve the accuracy and automaticity of their decoding, their fluency improves. There are many components to language comprehension. The first is background knowledge. In The Tale of Peter Rabbit, you need to have the background knowledge that this story is a fairy tale, and in fairy tales, animals speak. Without knowing this, the story may be quite confusing. The next is vocabulary knowledge. Having an understanding of what words mean affects the comprehension of the story. For example, the word bank is a multiple meaning word. In this story, it does not mean a financial institution, but rather it's referring to an area of grass along a river. Verbal reasoning is another aspect of language comprehension. This is the ability to think with words. In this story in particular, you need to be able to make inferences, like knowing that poor father being put in a pie by Mr. McGregor means that he was gobbled up by the McGregor family. The next component is using syntax and language structure. Syntax is understanding the principles that govern the structure of language. In English, the subject of the sentence is followed by the verb. Often the subject of the sentence is represented by a pronoun. Pronoun use can be very tricky for students. In the tale of Peter Rabbit, Mr. McGregor is referred to as father and he. The final aspect to language comprehension is the ability to apply effective strategies. If we don't understand a part of the story, we may go back and reread or ask clarifying questions. We may paraphrase what's in the text. After we are finished reading, we may summarize the main idea. All of these strategies are essential to understanding the text. While it is called the simple view of reading, we can see that it is not so simple. There are many components that come together for a full understanding of the text. The PAF program targets all of the components of word recognition and language comprehension to allow students to successfully comprehend what they read.
Thank you for watching. For more information on upcoming courses and workshops, please visit our website at thewindwardschool.org/WI.